Hello friends, welcome back. So in this step we are going to implement the Spring Cloud Slough. So Spring Cloud Slough is basically assigns a unique ID to each request that the user are making, right? So we know like suppose user are giving a request to the currency calculator service, then the request will go to the Joule API gateway server. Okay, from there it will hit to currency calculator service, and currency calculator service will call the currency exchange service to get the exchange rate, but the request will go via the Joule API gateway server, right? So if something goes wrong, so how the user or the developer will come to know like what went wrong, like it can go each and every microservices and check the log, but how the developer will come to know this logs belongs to that particular request? So this is the challenge, right? So to resolve that challenge, the Spring Cloud Slough comes into the picture and it assigns the unique ID to each request, right? So implementing the distributed tracing using the Spring Cloud Slough, for that we'll have to do the two things. First we'll have to add the dependency for the Spring Cloud Slough, okay, in the pom.xml, and thereafter we'll have to implement the sampler. But if you are implementing the Spring Cloud Slough, it comes with the four component. Okay, so what is the component, we'll see. So if you see here, the Spring Cloud Slough token has the following component. So this is the application name. So application name is the name of your microservices that you put into the application.properties file. Trace ID is basically assigned by the Spring Cloud Slough for each request. So if the request is going to second microservices or third microservices, in each microservices the trace ID will be same for that particular request. Span ID is the span ID are associated with the microservices. For each request the span ID is not going to be changed, it will be unique for the microservices. And Zipkin export flag, is basically boolean for the true and the false, right? So we'll implement this Spring Cloud Slough to trace the log. Basically how will be tracing the log, how will you implementing the Spring Cloud Slough for the better performance, to optimize the code, to better debug the code. Okay, so let's see and implement the Spring Cloud Slough. Okay, so first go to the Eclipse and add the dependency in each and every POM file. So let's go to the currency conversion service first and add the dependency Spring Cloud Slough. So Control C, Control V, and Spring Cloud Starter Slough. So let's add this SLEUTH Slough. Control S, copy this dependency and add into all the microservices. So now I'm going to the currency exchange service. Let's add over here Spring Cloud Clutter Slough. Save this, go to the Joule API gateway server, paste this. Okay, so one step is done, and other step is to add the method of each microservices main class file, okay, to implement the sampler method. So if you want to trace all the requests, so whatever the user are giving a request, if you want to trace all, then for that you need to create a sampler, always sample. So this is the sampler is the abstract class provided by the Spring. So we will be using the bin sampler bin to captures all the request, right? So how will you do that? So let's write one method, public sampler, right, and default sampler. This is the method sampler, right, and thereafter we will have to return. So what you need to return, tell me? We will have to return the always sample. So return sampler dot always sample, right? and sorry, this is the semicolon, and we will have to want to manage by the Spring, so bin, right, done. So the same thing you need to copy to across all the microservices main file. So this is the second step, right? Why you need to copy, why you need to implement the default sampler? Because you want to trace all kind of requests that are coming from the user or from the client, right? So if you see what is sampler, so just press F3 and you will go there and see sampler is responsible for deciding if a particular trace should be sampled, whether the overhead of the tracing will occur, and or if a trace will be reported to a collection tier. So it's a basically deciding factor. If you want to always, if you want to put a tracer ID for all the requests, you need to use the always sample. So you can go through the all these method that has got implemented. Okay, so we have implemented one of the default sampler, always sample for all the requests. So copy this, okay, and put into the all the services. So go to the each microservices main class file, okay, and copy this, right? So we are putting this into 3 microservices, the Joule API gateway server, macro conversion services, and the exchange service. So we have put the 2 things. First is the Spring Cloud Sloth dependency to the pom.xml file, okay, here Cloud Sloth, and the other is the sampler method, okay. So now let's start one by one and see how the result are coming, right? So let's see. So how will you do this? So let's start this. First let's start the Eureka naming server, because all the microservices will have to get registered over here, right? Eureka naming server. So this will take some time to restart, so let it started. Yeah, so it will starting. Yeah, so it seems it's got started. Yeah, started namespace Eureka naming server on using the port 8761. So this is the link we will have to use. Control C, go to the browser, okay, paste this, okay. So Eureka server is up and running. So how many instances are registered with Eureka? So no instance available which have got registered with Eureka, right? So now come here. So before starting all the microservices, I want to implement some logger. I want to put some logger information over there, right? So let's first go to the API gateway server. So I'm coming over here. We have already implemented the logging server, right? Go to the controller. So copy this logger file, Control C, close this, okay. Go to the currency conversion controller, okay, come here and put a logger file here. Sorry, I pasted two twice. Yeah, and here we will be putting a logger.info information, right? So now go to the controller, go to the endpoint, and we are calling the get conversion detail fin to retrieve the exchange rate, right, from the currency exchange service. So before returning, let's put a logger here, logger.info, sorry, logger.info, okay, and let's put here the response is, and put this variable here, Control C, Control V, right? I saved it, so it will pick up by, since we are using the DevTools dependency, so it will picked, okay. So now copy the same thing okay, to the currency exchange service controller. Come here, okay, put this logger, and here before returning put the log also, logger.info. So we'll see how the trace ID is getting attached with each and every log, right? So currency exchange rate is right. So we have put the logger information, right? What went wrong? Info, sorry, this currency exchange rate, right? Correct. Yeah, so we have put the logger each and every microservices from where the requests are going. So we'll see in the log, okay, each and every the log will have the information of the application name, trace ID, span ID, and the boolean. So using the trace ID, you should be able to find, right? So if you go there and start one by one. So we have already started the Eureka naming server. So let's start the next service. You need to start step by step. So Eureka naming server got started. Let's start the currency conversion service application. Okay, so it will be getting started here. So better to come here, and let's another currency exchange service, and let's see again start the Netflix Joule API gateway server, right? So it may take some time to get it started. So let's wait for starting this server. Here, so go to the here and refresh the Eureka naming server and check how many instances are getting registered. So far only currency conversion service have started and has got registered with Eureka naming server, which is running on the port 8100. So let's start, refresh this. So now the Netflix Joule API gateway server is up and running. So currency exchange service are still have not got started. So let's wait to get started. So now the exchange service is also up and running, right? So now the currency conversion service, exchange service, and Joule API gateway server is having log information, as well as we have implemented the Spring Cloud Sloth. So we'll see how the Spring Cloud Sloth is adding the trace ID to the particular request, and that trace ID you can able to find wherever and in which microservices it's going. So whatever the microservices has got hit by that request, you will find the same trace ID over microservices, right? So let's see and refresh again. Yeah, so now come here and hit the currency conversion service. So HTTP localhost currency conversion fan, in this REST endpoint only we had put it. Okay, so enter, hit the request. What is the internal server 500? It's not getting, still it things is taking time. Let's refresh this. Yeah, so final request came. So now come here in the log. Okay, currency conversion service application, clear this log, clear. Go to the currency exchange service here, clear the logs here as well, clear, right? Now, yeah, now go to the currency conversion service, log is clear. Now hit the request again. So you are passing the from currency euro to currency INR. The request internally goes to the exchange rate exchange service, and from there it will retrieve the exchange rate, and we are passing the quantity 30 over here. So the total amount are getting calculated. So let's hit the request again and see how the Spring Cloud Sloth is adding the trace ID span id and the application name with that log for that particular request. Refresh this. Now go to the Eclipse and see here. If you see the logger info you have put, so in the logger info these four things are coming. So this is the application name, this is the name which we had put into the application.properties file, this is the trace id, this will be the unique for that particular request, this is the span id, sorry we came here, go to currency conversion, yeah, so this is the span id, so this will be associated with the microservices, and this is the boolean, and this is the response is this what the message we had put over there, right? So now let's find this 49C3A and in the last A0B. Let's go to the currency exchange service and see how will you find that currency exchange service. We came here, and if you see here in the current name of the application is exchange service, and the see the trace id is same that we had got in a currency conversion service. So using the same trace id you can find the log. So here is the two microservices, you can have a 10 12 15 microservices. So how will you find which logs belong to the which request, right? So you can find the trace id for that request, and for that request wherever the request has gone to the microservices, in that microservices we will be getting the same trace id, and using the trace id you can find the particular request across the multiple microservices. But still if you are experiencing and if you are saying this, there is still the problem that the log is still distributed and are in the multiple places. So suppose there is a 10 microservices, we will have to go each and every microservices, okay, to find the log. Yeah, you have a trace id, but still you are moving each and every microservices to find the log based upon the trace id. You don't have a centralized repository where you can find the log of all the microservices. So the problem is you will have to go each and every microservices. So to solve that problem, the Zipkin will get introduced and it will come into the picture. So Zipkin will remove that problem. So using the Zipkin we can have a centralized repository, we can have a centralized log in a one place. It will give you the UI to check, okay, logs in a one place. So in the next step we'll see how we'll implement the distributed tracing with Zipkin server. So we have already installed in this step Spring Cloud Sloth dependency in all the microservices, and each request the unique id trace id is getting assigned to each request and for each log we saw, right? So these id will be used to trace the request across the logs of across the microservices, right? So in the next step we'll see how we can put all the logs into the centralized location, how the logs can be put into the centralized location, and how we'll be implementing the distributed tracing with Zipkin server. So if you have a time, see you in the next step. Bye bye.